Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Recycleforce. One of Indianapolis's greatest secrets. So we welcome you. We value your time. It's a few staple items I want to go over. We know it's pretty warm in here, so we want to try to make sure that we do things timely. Also want to remind you that there is mask wearing. So unless you're here speaking, you definitely can lower your mask. I will do my best to try to clean the microphone off. We want to be conscious of what is really happening in our society. So if you want to be very careful, you can shake hands, hug, or do the bump, or do the elbow. We want to respect whatever you decide to do. So we want to make sure that we got sanitizer back there and folks wearing masks. So we want to make sure that we stay safe. This is a major event in Recycleforce history, and we're happy to be able to host it. So I want to give you an introduction. I don't want to introduce everybody, but you'll see the speakers as they come. I want Rob Smith to come up. I want everybody to give Rob Smith a hand. He's one of our shining stars here at Recycleforce. He wants to let everybody know how our circle starts and what our circle means to us. Rob Smith.
I give it up again. Thank you everybody for coming here. And one thing I like to say, this is a really true story. This circle started long time ago, an ancient tribe tradition. Back in the day when the tribe got together, we circle up in the morning. Each group had a chore to do. Half of this side would go hunt. Half of this side go get the trees. Half of this side go provide water for the camp. All it was, we was out on a common ground for that day, but everybody had different chores for that day. And all we was trying to do, make it through that day. And that's how this circle started. It's a circle of trust. Everything goes around. Don't nothing go up or down. It stays here. And that's how this circle started here. And we sit here every morning and do this from 8 to 8:30. Discuss each other's needs, try to motivate each other from the morning to a time for each and every person to go home. And it's really important. I've been here almost 9 years and we do the circle every morning. We don't miss it. And like I said, it's a circle of trust, and I like to glad everybody's in the circle today. All right?
All right. Let's give it up.
Give it up.
Okay. Yes, our circle of trust is very sacred to us. We have seats right here that also demonstrates folks that are coming into our program, and we have a seat to demonstrate those that are moving on to higher paying jobs. We always say that when you come here, you got a job. Our job is to move you to a better job or a career. So we serve adult population and we serve the youth population from 18 to 24. So I always say that our participants that we serve is the reason why we're here. So I want to give it up to all our participants. I'm not going to have you to stand, but and we call them returning citizens. We call them returning citizens. And they don't need a handout, but they need a hand up. And they decide to be here. It's their choice. They don't have to be here. And when we have a population of people who decide to be here, we're here to serve them. So we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the population that we serve. And definitely we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our pilot or either our president, Mr. Gregg Keesling. I want to introduce Gregg Keesling. All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody. And I'm very honored that we have this opportunity to be here today to talk about the new YARP grant. The grant will allow us to serve 550 justice-involved youth in Gary, Bloomington, and here in Indianapolis. Our partners are Employindy, Ivy Tech, Cook Medical, and amongst many, and the NAACP up in the northwest part of the state, amongst many other providers and agencies that we'll be working with. We have 3 sub-recipients. We have Anna Jackson from MUM and Bloomington in the back. We have Dr. Marlon Mitchell from the Gary CDC, who's drove down today. We have Tiana Johnson representing Keys to Work here today. Yeah. Keys 2. So my job is not to talk very much here today, but just to say how important employment services. This grant is an opportunity to align everybody from the courts, the prosecutors, the public defenders who are making the decisions on who's coming out to our community, to connect with parole, probation, and community correction, who will oversee the people who are coming out in our community, work with IMPD and the Sheriff's Department on the policing of individuals in our community, and then for us to be able to connect employment to the people here. I left out one important partner. Cook Medical is going to be here down in Bloomington, and they're going to be big partners with us as well. But anyway, I hope you can see this lining of services that this grant's going to allow us to do. But my job today is to introduce a friend of mine. Many of you know that Janet and I lost our son Chancellor in the Iraq War on June 19th, 2009. Congressman Carson was there for our family, helped change policies, and just was a very good person to our family during a very, very difficult time. But I want to remind everybody, it's been 12 years now, June 19th, 2009, and since that time, and I'm very proud that Juneteenth is now a national holiday, the day that Chancellor died. And Juneteenth is about overcoming the history of slavery from our past. It's also about dealing with the remnants of slavery, our over-incarceration system we have today. And for our family, it's a measure of comfort that the day our son died is now a national holiday that we can celebrate. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring up my friend, our Congressman, Mr. Andre Carson.
You're honored. Good to see you. Well, good morning. Thank you so much to Gregg and Janet, a remarkable family. It is great to be here. I fell in love with the family and their effort to honor Chancellor's history and legacy and service to our country. To all of the elected officials and labor leaders and local leaders who are here today, all the wonderful folks at Recycleforce, all the stakeholders who will benefit from this grant. Got to give a shout out to our prosecutor, Ryan Mears, who's here. Yeah, good man. Our council president, Vop Osili. The best mayor in the Western Hemisphere, Joe Hogsett, I think the mayor's here. To RODNEY, Francis, and everyone else who helped make this event a success, Trina and Carlette. You know, who's that? Deputy Mayor. Oh, Judith, thank you. I'm so sorry. Hey, it's good to see you. My goodness, yes. Yeah. Love Judith and Hannah. You know, I love the Keesling family, and Gregg and I have become great friends and brothers. He's a true public servant. He embodies Hoosier values. You know, we work together to ensure, as he mentioned, better mental health care for our brave Americans in uniform, which I know remains a passion for him. In fact, it was because of his initial work at that time. If there was a death by suicide, the U.S. military would not send a letter of condolences dating back to Abraham Lincoln. But because of Gregg's advocacy and our work, we were able to change that policy, so we thank you and the Keesling family. You know, Gregg and Janet, they've been at the forefront of efforts to provide opportunities for returning citizens once they leave incarceration, which can go far in reducing recidivism. And today, we are uplifting that great work to provide a better future for young people and all Hoosiers who may have left high school before graduation or have been caught up in the criminal justice system. You know, the U.S. Department of Labor grant will help Recycleforce provide a fresh start and provide a path for hundreds of Hoosiers, and for that we are grateful. We've been very honored to support the grant application and recommend its funding because we know how far it could go to change lives here in Indiana. Hoosiers stand at a critical juncture. In addition to the typical challenges that many face, we're experiencing unprecedented struggles in the midst of COVID-19 and its impact on our health and our economy, and we can't let a single person fall through the cracks, especially during these trying times. The infusion of federal funds will help countless people in our community understand and realize their potential in helping them get a good job, learn a new skill set that can lay the foundation for a wonderful career. We also want to thank all of our local partners, the Cook as well, for the program and their participation. You know, Hoosiers are known for coming together and uplifting people. And that's exactly what is happening here today. We will continue, I'll continue, to work hard in Congress to bring back investments in our community and our state that build up the potential and possibility for everybody, especially young people who are struggling to find their place and purpose. Together, we can make Hoosiers and Americans better and put them on a pathway to success. You have friends, we love you, we appreciate you, keep up the great work.
Thank you once again, Congressman Carson. Give it up for Congressman Carson again. Definitely, we could not do what we do here without strong support from our dignitaries. So we really appreciate Congressman Carson. And we couldn't do the work with all the team and the community partners that we have here at Recycleforce. It's too many to name. I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Ken Alexander. I'm the Director of Training, and I've been with Gregg Keesling for about 12 years. But we could not do what we do with all our community partners. We always say that it takes a village. It takes a village. So I definitely want you to give a hand to all of our community partners from PACE, from the Big Boys, Key Bank. There's so many, too many to name. But we could never do what we do without our partners. Without further delay, I want to introduce Ryan Mears and give a hand for him as he comes and give some words. One of our community partners as well. All right.
Well, what's going on, everybody? It's great to see everybody this morning. My name is Ryan Mears, and I got a few inches on people here. My name is Ryan Mears, and I'm your Marion County prosecutor, and it's a tremendous honor and privilege to be here. And we're presented with a number of challenges here in Marion County, and a lot of them go back to this issue of crime. But the one thing that I've learned in this position as being your Marion County prosecutor is this, is when you give people hope and opportunity and you invest in people, they do not commit crimes. And when you give people jobs, they do not commit crimes. And as I look out here today, I see a bunch of opportunity and I see a bunch of jobs, which are going to change our community for the better. And that's why we're so grateful to stand here in support of this grant and the work that's being done here, because it's giving people opportunity and jobs. One of the missing links that we have in our criminal justice system right now is when people come out of the criminal justice system, what's that plan for success? What does that plan for success look like? And this grant helps provide that plan by providing people with meaningful opportunity and meaningful jobs. And so what can we at the prosecutor's office do to help? And what we can do at the prosecutor's office to help is when we have conversations with people who are coming back into our community, when we have conversations with people about sentencing, we need to be thinking about what we can do to get people here as opposed to putting them on the Department of Correction, putting them on community corrections, or putting them on probation. I'd much rather see people working here than being on probation, because here people are going to get better, people are going to get jobs, people are going to develop skills, and they're going to make contributions to our community. This grant is an investment in people. And if we make investments in people in our community, we're going to turn the corner on violence, and we're going to have a safer and more fair Marion County. And so with this, I just want to thank Gregg, the rest of his staff, everybody for all the work that they do day in and day out to try to help people and make a difference in people's lives. And thank you for providing these opportunities.
Thank you, Prosecutor Ryan Mears. Thank you. Give another hand to Prosecutor Ryan Mears. He said something that was very intriguing. When you give people hope, give people hope. We coined hope as having opportunity for permanent employment, having opportunity for permanent employment. And like I said earlier, the men and women and the population that we serve, they choose to be here. Some have to be here, some choose to be here, but they don't really have to be here. But when they get up in the morning and decide to punch a clock, that's success. When they decide I want to change my life, that's success. And when Recycleforce can provide an opportunity for an individual to make some money, get some skills, and then get their life together, that's success. So give it up to our people again and our population that we serve. It is my distinct honor now to present the President of the City County Council, Vop Osili. Bob, how you doing, cousin?
Cuz, how you doing?
Okay, glad to see you, man.
Morning, everybody. It's great to be here and to be here to honor and celebrate the work of the Keeslings, Gregg and Janet, the work of the staff in moving forward our community. It's also great to see my cousin Ken Alexander. Hey, a lot of stuff you didn't know. So I'm incredibly thrilled to be here, but while I'm thrilled, I'm especially not surprised. I'm not surprised that Recycleforce is one of only 6 organizations in the entire country selected for this opportunity. I'm not surprised that Gregg and his team at Recycleforce continue to look for opportunities to collaborate with public and private partners, like the ones you see here today, for the benefit of our community. And I'm not at all surprised that Recycleforce is bringing this very promising model of youth-adult reentry partnership to fruition. Many of you probably had some grandmothers or mothers who said, you know, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Anyone have that in there? Okay, all right. Well, I'm not suggesting that for Recycleforce, that they use that phrase. I do think it hints at a fundamental truth. Idleness in young people is often the result of disengagement with school or community, or disillusionment with prospects for the future. And that kind of idleness, the disengaged, disillusioned kind, is often a precursor to involvement with the criminal justice system, as a juvenile or as an adult. Work, then, can be a powerful antidote to that idleness. And yet, by accident or by design, work is one of the things we as a society have made it most difficult for justice-involved individuals to access as they re-enter the community. And what is lost by this is much more than a regular paycheck. Work is a chance to see the world differently, to meet new people, to learn new skills. And work can introduce intellectual challenges that inspire curiosity or a thirst for knowledge. Work gives each of us a sense of identity, a sense of self-worth, a sense of self-determination, the things that incarceration or justice system involvement often take from a person. Work can restore. And it's into this gap that Recycleforce has stepped and continue to step, and today steps into even further. By expanding its work through the Youth-Adult Reentry Partnership, Recycleforce is doubling down on its investment in the future of Indianapolis, providing a literal and devil-free workshop to 380 justice-involved youth in our city. Well done. If just half of those young people subsequently avoid criminal behavior and become neither victim nor perpetrator of violence, imagine the human potential captured, the lives saved, the injuries prevented, the families preserved, the home lives stabilized for the next generation. It actually reminds me of another proverb, one that says, "He who saves one life saves the whole world in time." And not to put too much pressure on you, Gregg, but I do believe the good work that you've done and the great work which you're about to begin, everyone here at Recycleforce, ripples not just across Indianapolis, but through it and into our future. So I thank you, I congratulate you, your team, your partners here today on this remarkable accomplishment, and I very much look forward to the accomplishments yet to come. Thank you.
Give it up for my cousin again, Vop Osili. We call ourselves cousins. I got Alexanders in my family. He got Alexander in his family. And you can see we're the same shade, so we get by with it, okay? Vop Osili, everybody, Vop Osili. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Deputy Mayor, Julia Thompson. I know they kind of miss your name, but I want to thank you for being here. Had the pleasure of meeting her last week, along with some international people that was in our city here from Japan, from Africa, and from Korea. So I thank you. Give it up for Julia Thompson, the Neighborhood Initiative. And I have one of my friends here as well, which is Bill Stoner. He's the head of the UP's, United Universal Peace Federation, UPF. Bill Stoner, doing great work across the nation. So we thank everybody. I can name it. I can go on and on and on and name so many people that is interested in bringing peace in the world, reducing violence in our communities, and reducing violence in our neighborhoods. So, you know, and I like to think that something that Vop Osili said is very, very intriguing, and we all know it. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. And when individuals come here, we have many, many resources to just be, not just work. We say work is therapy, but also it is. But also the different partners that we have here in mental health. We know that a lot of crimes is due to mental health, so we have mental health providers here. And I like to think that we are really, really violence interrupters. Give it up. I think we're a violence interrupter. When individuals decide to come to work, their mind is not idle. Their mind is on work. So definitely, we definitely know that phrase that the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Now, Recycleforce is our individual's workshop. So I appreciate that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people that we serve. So definitely we thank everyone for that. Next, I want to introduce one of our partners is RODNEY. RODNEY, would you mind standing? RODNEY Francis from Employindy. RODNEY Francis from Employindy. God bless you, brother. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I want to start out by sharing, first of all, let me recognize and the presence of our Congressman, Gregg, and Ms. Janet, and our representatives from the city and all of the other partners, as well as the participants who are here, these young men and women whom we all have much respect for. We need to give it up for them. So in Employindy, let me say that we believe that there is hope, dignity, and liberation in work. We believe in the power of work and the dignity of work and what having the ability to work does for one's purpose in life. We're partnering with Gregg and Ms. Janet Keesling in this effort because for Employindy, our mission is to support the region's demand for talent, but also support our residents who need the jobs, who need the careers, who need the opportunities to take care of themselves and provide for their families to meet that demand. When we consider the returning population, they're one of the second largest group entering the workforce behind our young people coming out of high school. I'm sad to say that, but it is the reality. And for that reason, we are charged to serve them. When I met Gregg and Keesling, when I came to the city 5 years ago to work with Employindy and Angie Carclich, our CEO and the board there, I came over for a visit to see the work that they were doing. And when I left here saying to myself, we have to do more to raise the profile of this organization. Ken said it is a hidden jewel. We no longer need Recycleforce to be a hidden jewel in this city. We need to lift this work beyond its ability to perform here across this region. So we're excited to partner with Gregg and with Recycleforce and with Ms. Janet Keesling on this work because it's so important for our community, to the lives of these young men and women and the families and generations that they are connected with. I'll say this and then I'll take my leave. When I met Gregg, if you know Gregg, he's going to share with you all of the challenges and issues that are involved with the work, all the things. He has some great ideas on how to get this thing moving. And I appreciated that. And one of the things we talked about as we were discussing the policies, the practices and all of the laws and all of those things that come into play that kind of get in the way of making the program work the way it should to benefit those for whom it's targeted. I said to Gregg, Gregg, what I can promise you is that during the time that I'm here at Employindy and working along with you, there is a lot of latitude between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. And we're going to do everything we can to take what the letter is restricting us from doing and using the spirit of that to make it work on behalf of the people we're called to serve. And Gregg, I hope that Employindy has kept its promise to you in that regard, because we certainly have tried. There is but one phone call that I will pick up in the middle of the night, and that is a call from Ms. Janet Keesling. I have never not picked up a call from Ms. Janet Keesling, and every time she's called, she said, Rodney, I need. And before she can even finish her sentence, I would say, Ms. Janet, it's done. Because that's how much I believe in the work, and we believe in the work of Recycleforce and Keys to Work. Congratulations, Recycleforce. Congratulations to all the partners who are part of this effort. We're doing something great. We're doing something powerful. We're doing something liberating. And we are grateful for the opportunity to be in service. Congratulations to all. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Rodney Francis, again of Employindy, major partner of ours. Woo! Okay. Hey, all right, that's great. Well, thanks again, Rodney Francis. Thank you. There was a couple of things before I bring Charles up that Rodney, go ahead. That Rodney keyed in on, and it's the population. We're here to serve the population, here to serve. I will never forget years ago when I worked at TTS and we had a youth build initiative. Many of you may know Youth Build, and it's a population between 16 to 24, I believe, at the time. And that was one of the most challenging populations to serve because they come with so much resistance and so many challenges. And then we had a meeting, and one of the directors said, they are not motivated. We can't help them. They're not motivated. And then I said, hold it. We got to say they are not yet motivated. Otherwise, we might as well fold up our tents and leave. So we got to be reminded of the population that we will serve under the YARP. We want to be mindful that we are here to what? Serve them. So that's a privilege when you can serve them and find a way to reach them. Find a way to reach them. So without them, we wouldn't have an organization, we wouldn't have a youth build, we wouldn't have a city. So we take great privilege of being able to have the YARP grant. And we want to also mention our partners from Bloomington. Is somebody here from Bloomington, Indiana? Yeah. Big boys. Give it up for Big Boys, Bloomington. You will hear a little bit more about our relationship with the folks in Bloomington. So we're reaching the corners of Indiana. And our partners from Gary, Indiana. Anybody from Gary? Stand up. We're reaching Gary, Lake County. So we are expanding our horizons. I remember a few years ago we had about 40-something mayors come to our city to find out what was the hidden treasure of Recycleforce. And it was a pleasure to have the mayors here because they wanted to duplicate what we're doing here in the city of Indianapolis and other cities. All right, it's break time. All right, I want to introduce to you one of our partners also. He was a rising star here at Recycleforce. He came in and he grew and he became one of our managers. He moved on. He sits on the board. I want to introduce Charles Neal. We call him Preach. He's with Brookside Community Church. He is the preacher's preacher. The modern day Martin Luther King. Give it up for Charles Neal. Sorry, but
we give honor to all of our dignitaries today that are here and present. We thank God for each of you in your respectful places. To all of the participants that are here, I'm very grateful for you all. Recycleforce saved my life. I too came through this program. Vop Osili, we've been walking this life out for a very long time. It not only saved my life, it gave me a new perspective in life. I began to understand that work is actually therapy. Work is therapy. And when I left Recycleforce, I moved on from here. I retired from Recycleforce, served on as the board, and I became a pastor, full-time pastor in the city, Brookside Community Church, where we now are in deep partnership with Recycleforce, where we, at time before, we would send individuals to Recycleforce, and we would pay the wage for 120 days. Whatever it is, we would pay the wage to send participants in to Recycleforce. Because reentry is a moment. It is a moment in a person's life that they are faced with a new reality, and that's change. Humanity is what our situation is. And if we can get our community and our community partners back to humanity, we can move together as a community to be the best that we can be in the city of Indianapolis and be a model for these United States of America of how we can do reentry all over the world. And so I just want to briefly say, because the old preachers say, you know, I can have 2 or 3 closes, but I'm not going to have that. Amen. But I just want to say that I'm very grateful. This place has saved my life. Thank God for all of you who have participated in this venture, and we pray and we hope that we'll have another 100 more years with a place like Recycleforce to do real good work in our community. Come on, let's give it up to yourselves today.
y'all can see why I call him the preacher's preacher. I'm a preacher too, but that is a preacher's preacher. I thought we were going to have to take up a donation here for a minute there, brother. Okay, but we thank all of our partners. Mayor Hogsett have showed up, and we want to be mindful of everybody's time again. But I also want to recognize one of our major partners. You know, when we was talking about when Rodney Francis was saying he can pick up the phone on only one person, we thought he was going to say Gregg Keesling. But he said Janet Keesling, and she is the backbone of Recycleforce. And also I want to introduce to you Janet Keesling-Johnson, Glenn Johnson. Keys to Work, would you mind standing up and let us see who you are? A major partner to the city of Indianapolis, major contributors to the transformation of the folks that we serve here. If they can't go on to a better job, they go on to another job. And that is through Keys to Work. So I want to introduce Tiana Keesling-Johnson. Stand up. I better just say Tiana Johnson. I'd be better off just saying Tiana Johnson. But I knew she when she was a Keesling. But she is a very powerful force in our city. So help me introduce Tiana. How about that?
I got a little nervous, okay. Hello, everyone. Keys to Work is very excited that we were chosen to be the sub-recipient partnered with Recycleforce, Employindy, and Ivy Tech for the YARP grant to serve 18 to 24-year-old young men and women. Work is therapy. Absolutely, work is therapy. I am very passionate about the work that we do here, and I treat everyone the same. No participant here will say that Mrs. Johnson is going to treat me differently. We are all human, and we are here to make a difference in our city. So again, I'm so honored that Keys to Work can take part in this. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce someone that is very passionate and great help to the work that we do. He is truly, truly an asset. And that is our mayor, Joe Hogsett.
Look, it's great to be out joining Recycleforce once again, especially for such an amazing announcement. First and foremost, congratulations on this transformative grant opportunity. It will no doubt help hundreds of young people in our city access a pathway to progress and into productive and rewarding lives. And we all deserve that, a productive and rewarding life. The city of Indianapolis is no stranger to Recycleforce. This organization has been the recipient of OPHS grants to community anti-violence efforts. They have garnered the city's support in securing new markets tax credits and its funding. Now, don't anybody ask me how new markets tax credits work. Congressman? Do I have a witness? There it is. That's how they work. And they've been a regular partner in city efforts to divert old electronics away from landfills. Okay. But just as importantly, the city of Indianapolis is also a partner in the mission at the core of Recycleforce. We believe that when people return to lives after incarceration, they need options, not obstacles. Check out the budget that I introduced the other night. And talk to your city county councilors about it. Okay. You've got 2 months, Mr. President. Okay. With the help of today's grant from the Department of Labor, Congressman, thank you so very much. This mission now extends to a younger generation working at Recycleforce. At the city, we believe that the solutions to violence reduction are just as likely to come from within communities as they are from the city-county building. With all due respect to those who work in the city-county building. Here's where the real work gets done. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's where the productivity and the promise and the future truly begin. Yes. That's why on Monday I presented a proposal to the City County Council to commit $45 million over the next 3 years to organizations just like Recycleforce, who are making a real impact on crime prevention and crime intervention in Indianapolis. If passed, this will be the single largest investment in community organizations in the history, the 200-year history of the city of Indianapolis. We want to empower more groups like Recycleforce to both effectively carry out their primary mission while also taking the initiative to bigger and better opportunities like the ones we celebrate today. So again, congratulations to my brother Gregg Keesling and the entire Recycleforce team on this great announcement. Young people in Indianapolis who find themselves caught up in the justice system will find a great shot at a way out right here. So it is radically commanded. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. But never forget, love your neighbor, all neighbor, every neighbor, because they are worthy. God bless you all.
Wow, wow. Wow. Wow, give it up for Mayor Hogsett. Wow. I said preach was the preacher's preacher, but preach you ain't got nothing on our mayor. Give it up for Mayor Hogsett.
Tell him let's do that dance. Tell him do that dance.
All right, great, great. We have a statement from Congressman Carson to announce this opportunity that we have. And I want to say it's going to take more. This is not the end all, be all. And we're going to be calling my cousin to make sure that the bills are passed and that the infrastructure bill that was passed, that we get some of that too. So it ain't the end, it's just the beginning. And it's going to take all of us. It takes a village. So I want to introduce again Congressman Carson. Prosecutor Brian Mears. President of City County Council, Vop Osili. And my sister, Julia Thomas. Give it up for her as well. Julia. I call her the new Julia. We knew a Julia back then. We knew a Julia Carson, but we got a new Julia. All right. Give it up for RODNEY Francis, our board chairperson, and also our partners from Bloomington and Gary. Give it up for them as well. But most importantly of all, I wish that a Recycleforce staff would raise your hand. Recycleforce staff. I wish I could mention them, from Dustin Jones to Peter to Paul, Peter and Paul. I wish I could name everyone. Andrea Thomas back there. I wish I could name all. There's Janet Keesling. I wish I could name it all, but please give a hand to all of our staff that participate in making Recycleforce a success. Give it up. I would like for you all to keep your seat for a minute, because I want one of our rising stars to show you how we roll. To show you how we roll. Rob Smith, show us how we roll.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming again. And we do this every day at the end of our circle. Every day, this is how we roll. All right? Are there any wants, needs, or concern? I also like to give up to Joy Smith, like to Dave, like give up to Chuck Volunteer, like give up to Big Tom Ridley, Big T, and our other staff too. We got a lot of good staff around here. Give it up to all the staff members. And even to a couple of my board members, John Purcell back here, even to Ed, Trusted Mentor. We have a lot of people here that helping us get through this thing. Also to Andrew King too, all the staff members here. We in this together, all right? Are there any wants, needs, or concerns? Okay, we're going to get out of here. 1, 2, 3. When you win, don't lose the lesson. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. The blessing is in the lesson. 1, 2, 3. I ain't looking back, cause I ain't going back. 1, 2, 3. I'm looking forward, cause we moving forward. All right. All right.